going to read the following article: Adaptability, the new competitive advantage. We live in an era of risk and instability. Globalization, new technologies, and greater transparency have combined to open the business environment and give many CEOs a deep sense of urgency. Just look at the numbers. Since 1980, the volatility of business operating margins largely stacked since the 1950s has more than doubled, as has the size of the gap between winners. Companies with high operating margins and losers, those with low ones. Market leadership is even more precarious. The percentage of companies falling out of the top three rankings in their industry increased from 2% in 1960 to 14% in 2008. What's more, market leadership is proving to be an increasingly dubious prize. The once strong correlation between profitability and industry share is now almost non-existent in some sectors. According to our calculation, the probability that the market share leader is also the profitability leader declined for 34% in 1950 to just 7% in 2007. And it has become virtually impossible for some executives even to clearly identify in what industry and with which companies they're competing. All this one certain poses a tremendous challenge for strategic marketing. That's because traditional approaches to strategy, though often seen as the answer to change and uncertainty, actually assume a relatively stable and predictable world. Think about it. The goals of most strategies is to build and enduring and implicitly static competitive advantage by establishing clever market positioning, dominant scale or an attractive niche, or assembling the right capabilities and competencies for making or delivering and offering, doing what the company does well. Companies undertake periodic strategy reviews and set direction and organization structure on the basis of an analysis of their industry, some forest of how it will evolve. But given the new level of uncertainty, many companies are starting to ask, how can we apply frameworks that are based on scale or position when we can go from market learn 1 year to follow the next? When it's unclear where one industry and another begins, how do we even measure position? When the environment is so unpredictable, how can we apply the traditional forecasting and analysis that are the heart of strategic planning? When we're overwhelmed with changing information, how can our managers pick up the right signal to understand and harness change? When change is so rapid, how can a 1 year or worse 5 years planning cycle stay relevant? The answer these companies are coming up with point in a consistent direction. Sustain, Sustainable competitive advantage no longer arise exclusively from position, scale, and first order capabilities in producing or delivering an offering. All those are essentially static. So where does it come from? Increasingly, managers are finding that it stems from the second order organizational capabilities that foster rapid adaptation. In this, Instead of being a really good at doing some particular thing, companies must be really good at learning how to do new things. Thus, that drive are quick to read and act on signals of change. They have worked out how to experiment rapidly, frequently, and economically, not only with products and services, but also with business models, process, and strategies. They have built up skills in managing complex multi-stakeholders systems in a increasingly interconnected world. Perhaps most important, they have learned to unlock their greatest resources. The people who works for them. In the following page, we look at how companies and the leading edge are using their for organizational capabilities to attain adaptive awareness. We'll also discuss the implication of the fundamental strategy shift for large established corporations, many of which have built their operation around scale and efficiency. Sources of average that really of an essentially stable environment. The ability to read and act on signals. In order to adapt, a company must have its antenna tuned to signals of change from the external environment, decode them, and quickly add to refine or reinvent its business models and even reshape the information landscape of its industry. Think back to when Stirling Moss was winning Formula One car race. The car and the driver determined who won. But today the sport is as much about processing complex signal and making adaptive decisions as about machines and driving prowess. Hundreds of sensors are built into the cars. Race teams continuously collect and process data on several thousand variables, ranging from weather and road conditions to engines and the angles of curves, and feed them into dynamic simulation models that give the drivers a split-second decision. A telemetric innovation by one thing can instantly raise the bar for all. In this information saturated age, when complex, variant signal may be available simultaneously to all players, adaptive companies must similarly rely on some sophisticated point of sale systems to ensure that they acquire the right information, and they must apply average data mining technologies to recognize relevant partners in it. For example, a, a leading media company that was suffering from a high rate of consumers churn revamped its analytic approach to customer data, applying, applying neural network technologies in order to understand patterns of customer loss. The company found hidden relationships among the variables that were driving churn and launched retention campaigns targeting at-risk customers. The accuracy rate in prediction churn was an impressive 100 benefit, given the even percentage point in churn reduction added millions of dollars to the bottom line. Companies are also leveraging their signal reading capabilities to make operational intervention in real time, bypassing slow-moving decision hierarchies. The UK-based grocery retailer Tesco continually performs detailed analysis of the purchase patterns of the more than 13 million members of its loyalty card programs. Its its findings enable Tesco to customize inventory for each store and each customer segment and provide early warning of shifts in customers' behavior. They also supported the development of Tesco Hungle's successful online platform, which has extended the company's business models, enabling Tesco to become a store without walls and offer a broader range of products and services, including media and financial services. Bueno, el resumen de este artículo es básicamente el siguiente. Nos dice que debido a la globalización y el avance de la tecnología, la competencia a nivel global es más compleja. Por eso es que para los líderes de los mercados es cada vez más difícil tomar el liderazgo del mercado en el que se encuentra. Y por esto es que los CEO de cada empresa se inquietan y ellos deben plantearse cómo elaborar nuevas estrategias, ya que si bien hemos visto muchos enfoques tradicionales, incluso a lo largo de este curso, Según este artículo, son enfoques en que asumen mucho que el mercado es estable y predecible. Entonces, no apunta mucho a lo que es el mercado hoy, que ya es un mercado bastante inestable y con cambios muy rápidos. Entonces, está claro que todas las empresas buscan una estrategia que apunte a lograr una ventaja competitiva sostenible. Pero entonces, ¿cuál es el mensaje del artículo? Que las organizaciones, en lugar de ser muy buenas en algo en específico, deben volcarse a ser muy buenas para aprender a hacer cosas nuevas, es decir, que sean más innovadoras y se puedan adaptar rápidamente al mercado. Entonces nos habla también de las capacidades organizativas para lograr esa ventaja competitiva. Y una de ellas es la capacidad de leer señales y actuar en consecuencia a ellas. Esta lo que nos dice es que las empresas deben estar muy atentas a los cambios del entorno y actuar rápidamente para adaptarlas a su modelo de negocio o en su defecto reinventar el que ya tienen si es necesario. Y la otra es la capacidad de experimentar. Está claro que las empresas deben hacer experimentos para poder desarrollar nuevos productos y servicios.